Hi everyone, I am back and this is another in our series, in our video series, Cheers to 38, as my husband and I prepare to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary. Now, anybody who knows Gabriel and Denise would know that we just like to be extra. And we didn't think it was enough to just post and say another happy anniversary. We've done the date nights, anniversary editions live on Facebook. We've done our vows renewal. I can't believe that was 8 years ago on our 30th when we shared it as well on Facebook. And every year we try to make it very special. I want that when we share these and that you view them, that they really inspire you and that you are taught something or you learn something, you're developed in some way in terms of how you see your own marriage, your own relationship, or your coming marriage or coming relationship, because some of you who may be viewing this are not yet married. And I'm thinking of, when we thought of doing this, I thought of, we thought, we've named it Cheers to 38. Cheers. But it's really, we're really celebrating our journey to this point, and we're thanking God and blessing God for how He's going to help us to move beyond this point. So what are the factors? Several factors exist. The last video I just paid a tribute to my husband in terms of why I love him. And today I want to look at the whole question of the friendship factor. And how important friendship is to a successful marriage relationship. Now, my husband and I, fortunately, were friends before we became lovers. And even though I was young, and you're going to read about that in my coming story, that's a little secret that we're going to share perhaps at the end of the series. Even though I was young, I think I still had a pretty good understanding about love, to some degree. A little bit of immaturity, obviously, when you're still in your adolescent years and so on. But I was at a point in my life where, even though I was young, I had been confronted with a couple of crises, and God was very much a part of my life and very important to me. And along came Gabriel, and we were really, really good friends before it turned into something romantic. And I think that prepared us in many ways. It gave us a very solid foundation for our marriage, so that when we got married 4 years later, we had already had a good friendship. We had already established a strong friendship, which continued well into our marriage and which continues today. And one thing I can say about my friend, who happens to be my husband, who is also my best friend. I don't have another best friend. My best friend is my husband. Through the years, I've had various female friends who've been close to me. I've had more than one close female friend, and they, have been my good friends. I see them as my good friends, close friends. I don't think I've really gone about calling a woman a best friend until, perhaps back in the days when I was at school, but I've had very good female friends, and I still do have a couple, just a few. But my husband has always been my best friend, the person who I can be totally upfront with, the person who I can bare my soul to, the person who I could share with, all of my, my fears and anxieties and challenges and worries, and and that does not mean that I run to him with every issue necessarily, but I can if I need to. And there are times when there are things I do want to keep to myself. I want to ruminate on certain things for myself a little while, but I know that when I do need to share, when I do need to confess, when I need to open up, when I need to really unpack, some things that I may be going through or some thoughts I may be having, I can do it with him, and I can do it with him safely, and I can do it with him and know that he will not judge me, that he will understand, and that I can feel the strength of his support when I share with him the things that I go through. And that is extremely important. And it is a quality that I also provide for him. It is also something that I provide for him. You know, it is the quality of friendship in our relationship is bidirectional. It's not just my experiencing of that friendship. He speaks of it as well. And, you know, I am there for him. And the thing is that as a couple, we all know that we women tend to share a lot more. There's this thing about us, you know, I guess it's how we were raised, how we were socialized. We tend to empty out ourselves a lot more. We come up having a girlfriend, a best friend at school or wherever, at college, that we share all of our secrets and stories with. So it becomes a lot easier for us as women to share. And then within the context of a marriage relationship, it becomes something that we expect. And, you know, it is something that it's an area in which we thrive. Unfortunately for men, as we are seeing in our society, many men don't gravitate towards sharing openly, easily. Not that there are no men that do it, because there are some men who are very good friends with each other and they share. But generally speaking, maybe because it is how we socialize boys, not to be too emotional or not to show emotion or not to, you know, to be too vulnerable, that men sometimes find it difficult to open up. And when we got married, in the early stages of our marriage, even though we had been very good friends and we would have shared a lot in friendship, you know, prior to our marriage and even in the early years of our marriage, we still shared a lot. There were still areas in Gabriel's life that it was difficult for him to share. But I think through the years, you know, a lot of those barriers have broken down, and we have come to the point where, you know, there's nothing that we hide from each other. There's nothing that we are afraid to open up about when it comes to how we feel about each other, how we see our relationship, how we see life in general. And this tidbit about friendship is one that I want you to really spend some time ruminating on, thinking on, in terms of your own relationship. If you're not yet married, you're in your courtship stage or your premarital stage, you know, or even if you don't have a relationship but you're thinking about someday getting married, always ask God to give you someone with whom you can build a solid friendship with. I know that society today and the music and all, and, you know, everything, all the books and the videos we watch and so on, everybody focuses on the romance, which is wonderful, you know. We're all up there with romance and the sex and the sex appeal and the sexual attraction and all of that, which is wonderful and very, very important too. And we're going to have a video where we look at that. But it is very, very critical and very important that you build your relationship on a solid friendship, and that the friendship is real. It is something that you can rely on. It is based on love that you can just bask in, because you know that this person loves you, they accept you, and you know they're there for you, they have your back, and that is how Gabriel and I feel about each other. And even as we continue on this journey towards celebrating our 38th anniversary, we just want to encourage you in your marriages, in your relationships, to value friendship. It works. See you next time.